laboratory shit. Yeah.
Always something.
Yeah. I was looking at buying it a few years ago.
Turn right.
A lot of problems, and they wanted way too much money for it. And then I found this cult theater. The theater was owned by the cult, and
Continue on B6 for 2 kilometers.
got out of that deal once there was problems with that place too, and then we got this place. I'm excited to show it to you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited.
Like, yeah, to answer your question, I've come close. I've come close to coming to Texas a few times. I've actually thought about Texas and Florida.
Yeah.
I know. So people are like, what, really? Yeah.
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 Yeah. When shit gets weird, you start wondering, like, it's gotta be somewhere else.
You find yourself shaking your head, and you're like, wow, what the hell are we doing?
What the hell are we doing?
You know, it's like, I'm paying for this? Like, what are we?
And also, there was the psychological aspect of it. That was what was driving me crazy. People that I knew were morons, like the mayor of LA. The psychological aspect of having that guy having any control over what I do with my time, what I do with for a living, what I can and can't do, what I'm allowed to do and not allowed to do, based on whatever guidelines he's presenting. Bro, you can eat shit. That guy's a moron. And I don't like taking instruction from people that I know are bought and paid morons. And that was just so frustrating, because before that, you never had to deal with the mayors. You never thought about the mayor. What was the mayor going to do that's going to affect your life? You would vote for the people that you thought had the best policies and, supported the school systems and whatever you hoped that they would do. But you never thought they would keep you from working.
No.
Who the fuck saw that coming? And keep you from even doing outdoor shows and even outdoor dining? These people were maniacs. And they were in charge of telling everybody what to do. And I was like, this is not good. And there's too many people in this town that think there's something good about being compliant. There's something good about, like, we're doing it for everyone else. Like, are you fucking sure? Are you sure these morons know what they're doing? Are you sure?
More businesses have, went under, and then,
God.
if you were lucky enough to recover or just weather the storm, that's one thing, but most people didn't.
Yeah, and not only that, those businesses, I bet all those people got COVID anyway. Everybody got COVID anyway, I bet. And I bet if those people got COVID and recovered, they would have been safe to run their fucking store. Like, they just took the decision out of people's hands, and it's been proven that it was a disaster. It was a disaster for the economy. It was a disaster for mental health. It was a disaster for people's careers. It was a disaster for people's long-term businesses that they had to close, family businesses that they had restaurants for 30 years. The local neighborhood places that everybody went to, sorry, you can't work for a year and a half. They just bled people out. And meanwhile, these big giant stores, they just made more and more money because they're the only places you can go. And they told people their job was essential or non-essential. Like, who the fuck are you? Yeah, guess what's non-essential? You fucking half-wit, telling people what they can and can't do based on what? Not even no debating the science of it, no real conversations with experts that had disagreeing opinions. It was gross, man. I was happy to get out of there.
And then we wonder why there's so many tent cities.
That Gavin Newsom guy's running for president. He's already started campaigning without campaigning. He just did Sean Hannity. And he's just ringing up California, talking about how great California is.
Every day I think about leaving, but it's still home. I tell people, when they say, "What? You're still, yeah." I love. It's home. And that's what it is, and that's the hard part. Even though I'm a traveling comic, yeah, I know.
In 400 meters, slide left onto Bremer Strasse, B6, Seinsfeld Centrum, Congress Centrum.
I say, yeah, it's like
coming every now and then with like a fully armored armada and just lock everything down.
And I got my little sanctuary that I've worked on, for so many years to make my
exactly
spot.
how you like it. Yeah.
And then it's like,
Head east on Hamburger Strasse, B6 towards Hamburger Strasse 39.
But then I see that at the end of the year when I'm getting taxed, and I'm like, like that. The tax alone would pay for everything in Texas.
Those tax people are so silly. They want so much money. I wish it was going somewhere. I wish it was going somewhere really good. Like if the taxes were very high, but then you looked at the quality of life that you get from it, and you're like, wow, they do an amazing job with all this tax money. No, they do a terrible job. job.
In 300 meters, slide left onto Bremer Strasse, B6, Seinsfeld Centrum, Kongresszentrum.
It's fucking overrun with bureaucracy and too many people, and nothing gets fixed and nothing gets done. It's like, blah.
Yeah, I still see the potholes. I hit them.
Yeah, that's minor. That's minor. The homelessness is the biggest one. Like, that is bonkers. That you think you are doing your job if you are governing a city that has 100,000 homeless people or whatever it is. What do we say it is? 65? They guess. They're guessing. They ain't doing a fucking survey.
No, you're here all.
Slide left onto Bremer Strasse, B6, Seinsfeld Centrum, Kongresszentrum.
What is it like here?
It's nothing. There's homeless people.
Continue on B6 for 1.5 kilometers.
There's people in every city, but there's way less. And they cleaned up all the tents around the city. Every now and then they pop up under the bridge, but they clean them up, and then they come back, and then they clean them up, and they come back. But at least they clean them up. At least they don't allow them to accumulate and become like a village, like in San Francisco. Whereas like San Francisco, essentially they have these open-air drug dens. Michael Schellenberger wrote a great book about it called San Francisco, and he talks about how these progressive policies are just destroying these cities. It's like, you have to make a correction, and they're not making a correction. So what are you going to do?
I wish I had the answer for that, yeah.
When you go on the road, do you go on the road for just weekends, or do you do like long stretches?
I guess it depends on if it's a big tour. Like right now, I'm just doing nothing but clubs. So after the Dodger Stadium show,
Nice.
My agent, my manager wanted me to ride the wave of the success of the special and go back and tour hard. And I'm like, no, I want to just pump the brakes for a little bit. I want to remind myself why I love this so much. So I said I just want to do nothing but clubs for at least half a year. And so just doing shows, I'll still do, my 4 sets a week, because I was doing, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But now I'm just doing it at one place, and then doing 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. So
That's beautiful.
get my sets in and go home.
In 400 meters, turn left onto Magdeburger Strasse, Volterstrasse.
And yeah, I'm not making the same money, but the peace of mind is incredible. I'm not stressing about money. I'm not stressing about...
In 200 meters, slide right onto Friedrichstrasse.
paying for these tour buses, or paying for the rigs, or paying for the
Slide right onto Friedrichstrasse.
production. What's going on at the end of the night at the arena. There's so much that goes into it. And to be able to just walk into a club and focus on, let me just be funny and have fun.
Yeah.
So
It's a great way to write a new hour, too.
yeah, and I love the fact that when I'm doing these clubs, everybody's a lot more excited. First of all, the staff is incredible. No matter where I'm going, everybody's been super great.
Continue for 1 kilometer.
And the crowds have been super appreciative that they can watch an intimate show like that. Because even if you're sitting in the back row of the club, at an arena, that's like row 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it's been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it. And it reminded me how much I love this, because I think at a certain point, I became a hoe. I became a hoe, and it became more about the money. Because, dude, once the money started coming, it's like you get scared because it's so much, and it's coming at you from all these different angles. You're having these meetings, and they're going over your portfolio, and we got to invest this, and we got to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, my God. And now, I have employees. I never had employees, and now I employ like 30 people, which is insane, and if I stop working, they all stop working. So then it turns into this thing where, you feel almost like you're obligated to work even more to take care of everybody else.
That's Bert Kreischer.
Oh,
Yeah.
So when I told my team I want to do clubs for half a year, they were not happy about it. And they're like, you're missing out. You really, you got to strike while the iron's hot.
No, they're missing out.
They're
missing out.
They're not, they see one thing, and as creatives, it's very different.
Yeah, but they have to
peace of mind.
not give you creative advice. That's very important.
But that's not creative
people.
advice. It's financial.
Right, but but creative for you is, I need to fill my creative void. I want to go out there and fuck around. I want to have a good time. That's the creative aspect of it. When you're doing a show, you got a show. There's 15,000 people in there. It's a show. It's a different kind of thing. You're not going to really write in front of 15,000 people. You write and fuck around in front of a small crowd. It's a creative choice. They're wrong anyway. Like, you ain't getting off that wave, son. You don't have to worry about that wave. Riding the wave. You'll be on that wave for the rest of your life. You don't have to worry about that wave.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that wave at all. They can relax. You can take a year off and get off fucking Instagram and Twitter and just vanish for a year and come back and crush it. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
That was the one thing about COVID is I had never taken a break that long from comedy, ever.
It's amazing how much energy you have when you have to work every night.
Yeah. Well, it's very good. You can actually get on a schedule. Like, for me, I've always dealt with the weight issue. It's always been a thing for me. But being home for a year and actually being able to focus, and I had a trainer and everything, I was able to lose 70 pounds.
Nice.
See, all the doctors that I've been avoiding because I've been on the road, I've actually got to go see everybody and find out how I was doing.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was helpful. I never take time off, ever. I work all the time. I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year.
Well, you always have been. That's always been your reputation. That's why, we were always talking about even at the Ice House shows. Crazy. Guys doing 4 shows.
The 2 p.m. kid show, yeah.
Ridiculous. Nobody does that. Nobody does 4 shows in a day. That's insane.
And I used to do the shows, and then as soon as I'd get off stage, I'd go outside and do a full-blown meet and greet. So I would meet every single, do the show, do a meet and greet, and then by the time the meet and greet was over, it was time for me to go back up on stage.
Oh, my God.
And so I was doing that, I was doing that every week forever. But I think that's also what helped to build everything up.
100%. 100%.
You're engaging with people.
Yeah, real grassroots. You were really getting out there and hanging out. We used to always do that at the Ice House, have those meet and greets afterwards. Hang out, talk to people. That's a great club. That setup back there is amazing. Just a little...
Have you been there recently?
No, I haven't. I haven't been when it's remodeled. I heard
the buses did an amazing job with it. It's very modern. Part of it is they killed certain things that kind of made it the club, where now it feels a little bit more. It's too
corporate,
clean. Too clean.
I don't know why they would fuck with it. It was literally perfect.
There's a skybox in the back of the room. Literally a skybox in the back of the room. And if it's the room for the comics to chill in, it's badass. It's the greatest green room ever. But it's now considered a VIP room in the back. And there's a glass,
So it's a place where people could just talk.
Yeah.
While you're on stage.
Talk or you just...
So that's what it looks like?
Back there.
Oh, that's weird.
So the room still
I remember that room. So they just basically opened that room up because it used to be that room was closed off.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like the room's any smaller.
No. The room is the same size, and it's still fun. It's still fun to perform in there. It's just very different. And as somebody that spent years going there, to all of a sudden see, you enter through the front, through the street, whereas before you'd enter through the alley.
Oh, interesting.
And then the bar. I mean, everything just looks really, really nice. They
Better route available.
changed it, but
In 200 meters, turn right onto Ostra Alley.
I feel like if you're the oldest club in the country, man, you gotta look like, a little bit more classic.
Yeah,
So
old school.
A lot of the changes, I'm like, all right.
Yeah. The skybox is a weird choice, but whatever. Maybe it works. Like I said, that was just a closed off room before. Remember? You wouldn't even be able to see the stage. It was like mirrors back there.
No, it was just, it's the little wall.
Yeah.
And then the room behind it was like a dining.
What did they do with the little room? Is it that little room?
So the little room, they actually made the little room bigger, and they're making it so that they can have jazz and live music. It actually looks really cool, but again, it's not the old Ice House.
Right.
It's not the old Ice House.
Nostalgia.
So,
Nostalgia.
Yeah, no, there's no more nostalgia. Everything's new, clean, and just pretty.
Well, listen, I'm just happy that someone dumped a bunch of money into it.
Fixed it, and finally reopened it.
And wants good comedy there, Are they doing headliners on the weekend? How are they doing it? Are they doing it
well, I don't think it's set up as a showcase like Melrose or the other clubs and stuff. It's definitely headliners on the weekend.
Yeah, when you're talking about outside of LA, there's Pasadena, there's Comedy Magic, there's a few other, there's always Irvine, but then you're far out. Now you're going pretty far,
And those clubs are definitely headliners.
Yeah.
There are no showcases.
There's no real comedy clubs or showcase clubs are outside of the city, right?
Not really.
Once you get past the Ha Ha, what else you got?
Flappers. I was at Flappers a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was fun. Again,
It's a great room.
These rooms, and it's just wow.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Just went out there and had a good time.
Yeah, Flappers is a great room, but it's a weird room. Like, where whenever I would go there, I'm like, who are you guys? Like, I don't know any of you. It's weird.
And now it's just one owner. It's Barbara.
Oh, I mean the comics.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I'm sorry.
a lot of the comics, like, where else do you guys work? Like, I never see you anywhere. It's weird. There was like a specific group that was always at Flappers. I was like, this is a strange little group of people. You know, people find their little cliques.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like back in the day, you knew everybody. You knew who was doing it, and you knew where they were at.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I blink, there's 10 more comics. It's like, wow, there's so many.
Blame podcasts.
Ah, nice.
That's what it is. So many people listen to podcasts like, damn, I want to do that. Sounds like fun. You think of it like, also you hear the people in podcasts like, these guys are kind of stupid. I think I could do better than that.
Turn right onto Ostra Alley.
It's always, I think I can do better than that.
Yeah, always.
Part of it's making it look easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they're like, oh,
In 600 meters, slide left onto Zorfienstrasse.
yeah.
Well, the problem is, like, think about what you do. You go up there and you talk. Well, everybody can talk. Like, it's confusing. So, like, a person in the audience is like, I can talk too. How come he gets to talk and I don't get to talk? Like, you start thinking that you could do what they do. That's why it's hilarious when you see someone try to go on stage and talk to an audience that's drunk. Like, you think you can go up here and do it? And they go, yeah. And they get up there and they're like, freeze like a deer in the headlights. And then they realize, like, how weird it is. But when someone like you is relaxed and on stage, it seems like he's just talking. I can just talk too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easier than it looks.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel fortunate that when I'm on stage, I actually feel more comfortable on stage. Like, I feel like there's nothing I can't do.
Head southeast on Ostra Alley towards Malagashon, then turn right onto Malagashon.
I'm up there.
Turn right onto Theaterstrasse, then turn right onto Herta Lindner Strasse.
You're heightened, right?
Yeah.
Because also you've been doing it so long.
Turn right onto Theaterstrasse, then turn right onto Herta Lindner Strasse. Turn right on.
We're confident you're gonna kill. So you get up there, it's like, yeah.
It's an extra superpower.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, like if and then having the eyes too. So it's like, if like, for example, one-on-one, it's like, hey, can you do 20 push-ups? Probably not. But put me in front of a crowd, put that pressure on me.
Right.
For some reason, I'm gonna find
Turn left onto Ostra Alley.
a way to do it. I'm gonna, find a way to, I'm a big dude, so it's like, I'm not very agile, but on stage for some reason I can run on stage.
Yeah, adrenaline.
I feel like there's nothing I can't do when I'm up there, but then as soon as I get off the stage, I go back to.
In 600 meters, turn right onto Konradstrasse, B6.
Deflate.
You said you lost a lot of weight. What did you do in terms of your diet?
You know what? I was very consistent. I was able to eat, and have a plan. Like, I'd have breakfast, I'd have lunch, I'd have dinner. Whereas before, God, I was always on the road, so it's like I never wanted to eat before I went up on stage because then it would mess with, like, I get heartburn, and you don't want to be burping or farting in front of the crowd. So I waited until the end, and then by the time the show's over, what's available to eat? It's
Terrible food.
Terrible.
And you're starving.
Yes.
You can't wait to eat.
Yeah, and then go to sleep, and then it was just that cycle repeat, and it just, over the years, man, it got good to me. So I gained all that weight. So being home for a year, I was having an actual regular clean breakfast of, nothing
Turn right onto Konradstrasse, B6.
crazy from the road. It was all food that was store-bought and preparing my own food.
You can get like a meal prep company that will make meals for you that are like
I've done those.
Yeah,
I've done those.
How'd that work?
I was into it for a couple of weeks, but then it's like, oh man, I'm tired of fucking broccoli. Tired of this shit.
Yeah.
What helped out a lot too was that every day I was walking a lot. I was lifting weights 3 times a week.
Well, that's great.
And then again, going to see my doctors, getting on certain plans. Like, I wear a monitor now for my sugar. So I'm able to keep tabs on my sugar, whereas before it was out of control. I was averaging, waking up at 400, which is like, you might go to the hospital. Normal, you want to be somewhere between 80 and 120, at least for me. And so, I was riding what they say, the check engine light on.
Jesus. That's good.
And so, and then I got high blood pressure, and of course, you don't know it until.
In 600 meters, slide right onto Kleiner Marienbrücke.
they tell you, or until you check yourself. So then getting on medication for that, getting on medication for diabetes, and now I'm sounding like Joe Diaz. Hey, you got a cocksucker, you gotta get the diabetes, you gotta get this and that. But getting my health in order with the doctor and with the food and with the working out, whereas I wasn't able to do that on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would make a lot more excuses because I didn't,
But also, you want to have energy for those shows. And sometimes when you work out really hard, after it's over, you're so tired. And when you're really tired, it's hard to fire back up to get ready for the shows, especially if it's a new thing you're doing. If your body's adapted to it, you can do it pretty easy. But if your body's not adapted to it, like a hard workout, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm. And all my energy goes into the show.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm up there, I'm hitting it. I'm not sluggish. I'm not standing still.
Right.
I'm
I've seen you.
Performance. So it's like,
yeah.
but then when I get off of it,
yeah. The thing is, if you did get healthy and you did get in shape, it would really genuinely help your ability to maintain that. Because, just imagine if you said you lost 70 pounds. Imagine if you had to do your show right now with a 70-pound vest on.
Oh, God, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it sucks. And that's the reality of weight.
Yeah.
That's the reality of gravity.
My knees, my hips.
Everything.
I'm breathing harder.
Yeah. I do workouts with a 25-pound vest on. And just a 25-pound vest on. Just 25 pounds. It's not even that much. Like, if you pick up 25 pounds, it doesn't seem like much. That 25-pound vest makes a giant difference. Do everything with that vest on. And everything's way harder. Farmers carries, chin-ups, push-ups, dips, bodyweight squats. Everything's harder. But just 25 pounds. People gain and lose 25 pounds like it's nothing. But when you're walking around with that 25 pounds on, that is just, you're carrying that, man. That's a lot of burden on your resources.
Slide right onto Kleiner Marienbrücke.
Biological resources, your tissue, your bones, your joints, your hip, your back.
Continue for 5 kilometers.
You just fatigue, and then maybe the writing that you do, maybe your writing would be sharper. Maybe you'd have more that you were thinking about if you had more pumping through your body,
Oh, believe me, it's. I agree 100% with everything that you're saying, and
We're
it's
gonna get
not
you a
even
guy.
it's not even an issue of not knowing or not understanding or not seeing the bigger picture.
Gotta get you on Adderall and Ozempic.
Nice.
Let's go.
I just got on Ozempic.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Does it work?
Want to hear something funny? I got approached by Ozempic early on before they had the fucking song. And
What's the song? I didn't even know they have a song.
Ozempic.
Oh,
It's based on that old song, yeah.
Oh, it's magic, that
yeah.
song?
It's so they approached me and they wanted me to be their spokesperson for Ozempic.
Yeah.
And we took a meeting and everything, and I appreciate the fact that they actually approached a diabetic to be the spokesperson.
Diabetes medicine.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the new Wilford Brimley, So the deal didn't work out.
But you're still doing it, so you're on it. How long have you done it?
What's funny is I wasn't on it when I took the meeting, and it wasn't like I said when 2020 hit and I went to go see my doctor. He goes, "I'm gonna put you on this thing called Ozempic." I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" I'm like, I could have been getting that shit for free. But so it's once I give myself the shot once a week. Some people use it to lose weight, people that aren't necessarily really big.
Yes.
Will use that to suppress their appetite and stuff like that, because it will make you a little nauseous. Like in the mornings, I wake up and I'm like, oh, I gotta drink like a shake or
So
something.
you only do it once a week. When people are on it for weight loss, do they do it like every day? Like how often do they do
I
it?
don't know what the cycle is for using Ozempic for weight loss, but I just know that when I first did it, I dropped 15 pounds like a week.
Wow.
Yeah. So your body will react to it immediately, but then of course you plateau and stuff like that.
They say that it limits your appetite. That's one of the big effects of it.
Yeah,
Is that
because
what you found?
I was waking up queasy, and so you feel a little nauseous. You're not really trying to.
It's crazy because it's everywhere. Like you see all these ads for it, and even like Tony Hinchcliffe brought this up. Like CNN had a thing on it, but it seems like a story, but it kind of is an ad. It's kind of an ad for Ozempic, but it seems like it's a story about Hollywood celebrities. But really, you're just jazzing up the fact that everybody's taking Ozempic. Like it seems like there's something more going on there other than just
Ozempic.
Yeah. Like you probably got paid to do that story.
Because I'm telling you, I take it every week, and that initial first hit of the weight loss, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. At least it didn't continue for me.
How often do people take Ozempic when they're trying to lose weight, Jeremy?
It's still once, but it's like also you tapering off, I think, or yeah, or maybe it gets higher. I think maybe it's actually ramping up the dosage. You know, you start, we'll say like 0.25 units up to like 1.
But there's supposed to be a time where you're supposed to get off of it, right?
As far as like if you're trying to cut weight with it,
I think the cut weight people.
Don't know.
It's supposed to push
pushing
like
that.
a cycle. Like you're supposed to do
Yeah.
like you 12 weeks on, probably 12 weeks off.
These motherfuckers are pushing that,
Right.
though.
But it does help regulate my sugar.
Yeah.
So I between the monitor, because my monitor's always checking my sugar. So, for example, right now, I don't have the monitor with me. It's in the car because the honey spikes my sugar like nothing else.
Sure.
But because my voice is a little off right now, so I'm taking the honey.
Yeah. So do you watch like sugar, like bread? You cut that stuff out of your diet?
After a while, you start knowing exactly what does what. So you already know, like, I can eat that, I shouldn't. And then, you see things and you're like, all right, this is going to set it off. So I also have I take insulin.
Oh, okay.
So I play that game.
How long have you been doing that?
Oh, God, over 5 years for sure.
So is this type 2 diabetes?
Yes.
So that's the type that you can reverse with diet and exercise?
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, it's not for lack of knowing. I already know.
I get it, bro.
And that's what sucks. It's like, I feel like everything that I've ever attempted to do for my career, I've been able to do. But for myself, my personal self, losing weight's been the hardest thing. The hardest fucking thing in the world.
Somebody explained it to me and it makes a lot of sense. One of the reasons why food addictions are the hardest to stop is because you still have to eat food. Whereas, like, say if you had a gambling addiction and you went and got counseling and you stayed out of the casinos and now you don't have to think about it anymore. You don't have to gamble every day, but you have to eat every day.
Yes.
So if you have an addiction to food and then you're eating fucking celery with a little bit of peanut butter on it, like, what is this?
Exactly.
Well,
I would just eat the
fucking
peanut butter. I'd eat the peanut butter off the celery.
Yeah. Well, it's hard. It's a very difficult one because of the fact that you have to engage in the same activity that you're addicted to, which is eating. You have to, in order to stay alive.
And then you hear words like, moderation. Oh, you just gotta be more mindful. I'm like,
Well, it's like everybody's got this.
it's a feeling. It is like a drug. It's like when you're eating oh God, you're eating some pasta. It's like, you feel good. You're sitting there like, it's not just the eating part. It's how you feel.
100%. That is all Italian food is for me. I mean, it's the feeling of it. It's like when you're all sitting around drinking red wine, I know I'm gonna feel like dog shit.
Later, but at that time,
at that moment, it's worth it. But it's just only worth it for me, like, once in a blue moon. When I eat like that all the time, I get fat. I just like get slower. My brain doesn't work as well. You get foggy. Yeah, you get foggy. And it's so easy to gain weight. It's so easy to keep eating when you're eating like bread and pasta. I could just overeat pasta to the end of time. Like, I'm done eating, but I still want more. Like, I'm more than stuffed, and I'm still like twirling my fork in that spaghetti.
And for me, bread is the biggest crack. Like,
Oh my God.
bread. Oh.
And then they come over with some tiramisu. You're like, fuck it, I'm in.
Nice.
You're already stuffed. You can't even eat any more spaghetti, and you're just down in tiramisu. Yeah, I've had some very high calorie meals. But as long as I don't allow myself to do that every now and again, I'm good. So what I do is I eat almost entirely meat. That's most of my diet.
High protein diet.
Yes, I'm on what's called a carnivore diet. I'll have a piece of fruit every now and again, but that's kind of it. I mean, a little piece of lettuce. I've cheated a couple of times. I had an acai bowl the other day, but it's rare. Mostly and I feel great when I eat like this. I just feel like I lose weight, I get lighter, and I'm more clear-headed, which is very, very strange. And I think it's because your body starts processing ketones. Your brain starts processing ketones instead of carbohydrates.
Anytime I've had successful weight loss, it's always because I cut out, I went higher on the protein and I cut back on the breads and the pastas and the sugars and stuff.
I'm gonna get you a guy, yeah. I'm gonna get you a guy. I'm gonna get you somebody to fucking say you're right. We're gonna do this. I want to make it a project.
Some of the things I've tried, I've actually hired a nutritionist to live with me, like a person making me my food. And I just got
person cooking in your house.
God, yeah. You know what? I choose happiness.
Yeah.
I'd rather be fat.
If you'd rather choose happiness too. The restaurant, like one of them hole-in-the-walls that has the Mexican soap operas playing and nobody speaks English. You know you're gonna get some real shit. There's a place called the Big Burrito, and I think it's like right outside of Woodland Hills, where my old studio was. And we would go down there, man. It was sensational. Lengua quesadillas. They had real menudo that smells like a barn. It was outstanding. The real shit, you know? With all the oils and the red and fucking the tripe and woo.
In 300 meters, use the right lane to take the A4 slip road to Berlin, Orleans.
God damn, it's good.
They put letters in the window.
Oh my god. That's the spot. That's the spot. That place is so legit.
Look at the little thing where you can buy the toys for $0.25.
I used to not blow them up. I used to not blow them up because I didn't want to ruin it. Now people